So I think that, yeah, I mean, I would say that reading Nick Sleep added a layer on top of what I understood from Munger and Buffett, even though I think a lot of the Nick Sleep lessons were embedded in the Munger and Buffett lesson, but they were not as explicit about it. So probably took some me listening to another person to really understand it. But the idea is that you think of it as if you're a business owner. So Rashid, I'll give an answer, but we are past time. Is that okay for you guys? So if any of you guys, need to leave, please feel free. I won't take it personally, but we're going over, and I don't want to be disrespectful if you've got other commitments. But I was just actually just earlier today I was looking at this. Is that in 1995, when I first started investing, I had $1 million that I had gotten from the sale of my business and a portion of my business, and I had just begun to learn about Buffett and such, and I decided I would invest this money in the equity markets, and I wanted to grow it and scale it and see what would happen. So out of the million, I put 40,000 into four Indian stocks. So I opened a brokerage account in India in '95, which was quite a convoluted process then because there was no demat or anything at that time. And one of the stocks basically went up 160x or 140x. It was like a 1.5 million that I got out of $10,000. It was a huge home run. And when that happened in 2000, the other three stocks were either flat or down. They hadn't done much. And I said, okay, it is ordained and written in the Bible that if you get 100 bagger out of four bets, that is your quota. And so I thought, okay, this is fine. The other three, there's nothing happening. I sold the other three stocks. Now, there was no good reason to sell those other three stocks. If I had just held on to the other three stocks, one of them actually went down 90%, and that, basically was a useless investment. So let's forget about that one. But there were two others in my portfolio that one went up from the time I bought it till today, 500x, and the other one went up about 150x. Now, to capture those 500x and 150x, I needed to have a 26-year holding period, right? I needed to be holding it till today. And actually, if I had read Nick Sleep in '94 instead of 2020, I would have had no difficulty holding those stocks because Nick asked a few questions. So the first question he asks is, what is the destination? What does this business look like 10 or 20 or 30 years from now? Right? So you can try and answer that question. The second question he asks is the business getting better? Okay, so as time goes on, is the business getting better? Is the moat getting wider? Is the moat getting deeper? And the third question is the valuation reasonable? And what he means is that, yeah, it can appear overvalued. That's okay. Just not egregious. It just can't go crazy, like crazy valuation. So these other two stocks that I sold, one was Kotak Mahindra, which is actually now my broker. And I had only invested out of $40,000. I only put $2,400 into Kotak. And I put the 2,400 into Kotak almost at the last second because they were my broker. And I had a lot of interaction with them, getting the account set up and talking to different entities, different people. And I was extremely impressed. I was very impressed with the people I was dealing with. And I said, this business, the brokerage business, is going to do nothing but grow. It's a great business. And these guys are really good guys. At that time, Kotak did not have their banking license. The banking license came 8 years after that. And that's when it went, asymptotic. But there was no reason in 2000 to sell the stock because the business was definitely better than 2000, by 1095. And it was a reasonable valuation and destination still looked good. So that was done. The second business which I sold, which I shouldn't have, was Blue Dart, which is the FedEx of India. So I made two bets because the Indian postal system was so bad. that I knew that private parties had to step in to give people assurances that packages get there in next day or letters get there next day. So I made two bets. One was Skypack Courier, and another was Blue Dart. They both were listed companies. So my bets were, one was on the broker banking, whatever happens there, and these two bets were on courier services, which were very greenfield, huge runways ahead. Skypack went down 90%, didn't go anywhere. And Blue Dart is up 150x. And FedEx later took a stake in Blue Dart. So there was no reason to sell those businesses. There was no, it was, the destination looked good, the valuation reasonable. So what I've learned now from Nick's Leap is that basically buy great businesses run by great managements, but don't sweat the intrinsic value. So don't worry about, oh, this is worth 100 million and now it's trading at 120 million. No. What you want to ask is, what is the destination? And the entrepreneur is not selling, so why are you selling?